Good morning, everyone. I'm Reverend Linda Susan Ulrich. I use the pronouns they, them, and I am the minister here at the Unitarian Society of New Haven, and I am so delighted to welcome you here this morning. We often begin our services with something called Loved, living our values every day. And it's a chance for someone in the congregation to talk about some of the ways that we are living into our values in the work that we do together. And so today I'm excited to welcome up Margaret Ariori on behalf of the Food Bank.
Hi. I'm Margaret. I'm a member of the food bank team. Can you hear me? Cool. And I just wanted to bring a reminder that as the seasons are changing and the holidays are coming, you're going to be getting rid of some food in your shelves because there's no space. You'll be buying extra for company and have too much. Think of us at the food bank. We have shelves right off the coat room. Any time of the month you can put the stuff there and we will get it to the food bank in Hamden, which really needs it. As you can imagine, people who are pinched at baseline are feeling the increase in food prices. Second thing is, as the nights get longer and longer, we'll do our annual Advent calendar, which is for the advent of the solstice, when the light comes back to us. And our RE students have been putting these on their walls, and then they put a bag or box under it, and every day they put something for the food bank in the box, and then they can put a sticker on here to mark the days as they wait for that first little longer night. So we just want you to think of the food bank as you go through your holidays, and we want you to know that your generosity and your gratitude have been so appreciated by the food bank people. They say out of all the congregations, we're the top.
When a fella has the blues and feels discouraged and has nothing else but trouble all his life, well, he's just an honest man like any other, living in a world of aggravating strife. And if he's sick and tired of life, takes to drinking, do not pass him by, don't greet him with a frown. Do a favor, lend a hand, and try to help him. Always lift him up, and never knock him down. And if he stays out late at night because he's troubled, or because his home is not what it should be, have a smile for him wherever you should meet him. It will help him find the right way, don't you see? And if he gambles when he's in the town or city, tell him what he ought to do to gain the crown. Lend a hand and do not fail to show him pity. Always lift him up and never knock him down. If he cannot pay his debts, feels disgusted, if he's blue and hardly has a word to say, let him know you are his friend and can be trusted. It will cheer this lonely fellow on his way. if he has no friends and everything's against him, if he's failed in everything that he has tried, try to lift his load and help him bear his burden. Let him know that you are walking by his side. And if he feels that all is lost, he has fallen, try to place this poor man's feet on the solid ground. Just remember he's some other's precious darling. Always lift him up, never knock him down. Always lift him up and never knock him down.
I love when they come and be part of our service. Thanks. Good morning. Today we have the privilege of welcoming new members. I want to offer a special welcome to the new members joining today and those who have joined us during the pandemic. Joining USNH during COVID with all its disruptions must not have been an easy time for you to start your relationship with us. We are a community of strong connections and endeavor to always be open to having new people who join us. But I know we sometimes fall short of that aspiration. So I'm asking you to be patient with us because we really need you and we really want you to be part of this community. And of course, good morning as well to all of you, old friends and new, joining today in person or by Zoom. We are a people of many beliefs, many origins, sexualities, and genders, and you are all welcome just as you are. I am Lisa Anderson. My pronouns are she, her, and I'm your worship associate this morning. The co-creators of this service, including our guest musicians David Heiser and friends, and the entire USNH worship team, want to do a special shout out to Jane Farrell, our connections coordinator. Thank you all for making this service possible. I received 2 announcements. The first is from Shirley Dion from our Buildings and Grounds team. She writes, come one, come all to our annual fall cleanup on Saturday, November 19th. It's going to run from 9 to noon. You can stay for an hour or 3. There's going to be fun tasks, including raking leaves, pulling weeds, gathering branches, and mulching. No experience necessary or required. Direction and training will be provided. And if possible, they appreciate if you could bring your own tools, just mark them with your name, and bring gloves. And if you have any questions, you can contact Shirley. She's actually right over there. Now let's make sure our devices are in worship mode and settle in. Oh, I'm sorry, there was one more announcement. The Death Cafe is going to be compassionate care for the dying, and it's presented by Ocean Phillips on Monday, November 21, in the Children's Chapel. I think it's a really good opportunity for us to grow a little more comfortable with death and dying. And now let's make sure our devices are turned off and are in worship mode, and let's settle into worship.
If there is to be peace in the world, there must be peace in the nations. If there is to be peace in the nations, there must be peace in the cities. If there is to be peace in the cities, there must be peace between neighbors. If there is to be peace between neighbors, there must be peace in the home. If there is to be peace in the home, there must be peace in the heart.
The chalice lighting today was written by USNH member Laura Patey with just a little modification. The flame of our chalice this morning is a symbol of our connection to one another and the world. The flame lights our way back together again as we reimagine and revitalize our USNH community post-pandemic and post-2022 midterm elections. May it also guide our way forward into this time of promise and renewal.
Good morning. My name is Christopher Grundy. I'm the Director of Music here at USNH, and I would like to invite all of you to rise in body, in spirit, or in all the ways that we do, and join me in number 1003 in the Teal Hymnal. Where do we come from? Now, this is a four-part round, and for the new members who are here today, I think you'll see we have an amazing singing congregation, and by the way, I invite all of you to talk to me afterwards about joining our choir. So what we're going to do is we're going to sing the whole thing through with no repeats in unison together, and then three members of our wonderful choir are going to help me lead it as a round, which we'll sing twice through in four sections as we're divided by the groups of the pews here. So let's do it all together once through. Where do we come from? What are we? Where are we going? Where do we come from? Mystery, mystery, life is a riddle and a mystery. Where do we come from? Where are we going? So, we're going to have group 1, 2, 3, and 4. And we'll sing it twice through. When you've finished, if you'd like to join in and sing the fourth line with us so we all end strongly together, you'd be welcome to do so. All right. Where do we come from? What are we? Where are we going? Where do we come from? What are we? Where are we going? Where do we come from? What are we? Where are we?
So I'd like to invite up our newest members as of this very morning, as well as David Jones, the president of the congregation, as well as members of the Connections team. And please bring your orders of service with you. So come on down. I feel like we should have theme song music for this part. Just arrayed behind. So it is my great honor and privilege to welcome all of you into the congregation as members of the Unitarian Society of New Haven. When I introduce you, please give a wave. Anne Flanagan. Yay. Whoops. Nicole Kirker-Stewart. Joy Learman. Sunny Joy McMillan. Gina Mottmans. Stephen Pincus. And Rita Woodall. Did I get everyone? Sweet. And also, someone who joined last week was Pamela Weil. She couldn't be here today, so she signed the book a little early. So you've learned about Unitarian Universalism, you've pledged your gifts of time and money, and you've signed your names into the membership book. You're now part of this congregation's history, its present, and its future.
Please join me now as we read.
Not yet.
Oh. Whether we were born into this faith or choose it for ourselves, Unitarian Universalism asks us to renew and recommit to that choice every time we gather. As UU writer Liz James notes, this religion is not a thing you join, it is a thing you are called to co-create. We are delighted that you've chosen us as your co-creators.
In this living tradition of ours, we're able to accomplish together what we could never do on our own. Our individual quests and our collective strength are intertwined, both nourishing and rooting for each other, and rooting each other. As our membership grows, so does our potential for healing the world. So I invite first the congregation, led by David and the Connections team, and then the new members to read their mutual affirmations. Both the congregation and you all new members can find it in your order of service. So together let us say, we, the members of the Unitarian Society of New Haven, welcome you into this community. And the new members, please respond in unison.
As new members of the Unitarian Society of New Haven, we have crossed the threshold into a new relationship with this congregation, a deepened commitment, a broader openness, a brighter path of possibility. We pledged our gifts in support of the ministries of the congregation and ask for your support as we find our way in this faith. In times of shared joy and in times of shared conflict, when our visions align and when we fall short, we will remember the promises we've made and return to each other in the spirit of love.
Now let us all affirm together our congregational covenant. We covenant together to create and nurture a culture of respect and kindness, and to engage in the spiritual and everyday practice of loving more generously. To this end, we will strive to be open, value differences, listen deeply, use kind language, speak our truths, work with conflict, seek humor and joy. And let me say again, welcome. You may be seated. As they take their seats, let us invite the youngest among us and the adults who accompany them to sing and go to their classes, or first to Children's Chapel, which Jesse Greist, our Director of Lifespan Religious Education, will be leading. So follow the man in the striped shirt. Huzzah. But let us sing together. Where you go, I will go, beloved. Where you go, I will go. Where you go, I will go, beloved. Where you go, I will go. For your people are my people. Your people are mine. Your people are my people. You're divine, my divine. Thank you. Psych. This is the time when we share our joys and our sorrows, times of celebration, times of mourning. While we did not receive any specific joys or sorrows for today's service, I invite us to take a moment, first of all, to enjoy the joy of the new members coming to us, as well as those who are newer in our congregation.
May I add a joy that I put in USNH turned 71 yesterday.
Ah, well, happy 71st birthday to USNH, as of yesterday. Woo! I thought it was the 11th. Was it Friday?
It was yesterday.
Oh. Oh, it was Friday. Oh my God, I knew something that Jane didn't. That will never happen again. Awesome. Yes, happy 71st birthday. May it continue on long into the future and serve many more people in love and community. I also want to be sure to know that folks who are new to us, who have not joined yet, that you are also a joy to us, that you have taken the chance on coming into this place and sitting among people that you're perhaps just getting to know or have not even met yet. That takes courage, and we are so glad that you're here. For all the joys and sorrows held in the silent sanctuaries of our hearts, let us take a moment together in silence. Amen.
You'd think by now I'd be able to coordinate those glasses and the mask and all that stuff. Today I'm offering you a reading on joy from the sacred Buddhist text, the Dhammapada. These sayings are thought to have been gathered in northern India in the 3rd century before Christ. In the preface to the translation I'm using, Ram Dass urges us to hear these words with our soul and not our intellect. For those of you who don't resonate with the word soul, I invite you to use your own language and perhaps consider listening from your non-thinking self. Joy. Live in joy, in love, even among those who hate. Live in joy in health, even among the afflicted. Live in joy in peace, even among the troubled. Live in joy without possessions like the shining ones. The winner sows hatred because the loser suffers. Let go of winning and losing and find joy. There is no fire like passion, no crime like hatred, no sorrow like separation, no sickness like hunger, and no joy like the joy of freedom. Health, contentment, and trust are your greatest possessions, and freedom your greatest joy. Look within. Be still. Free from fear and attachment, know the sweet joy of the way. How joyful to look upon the awakened and to keep company with the wise. How long the road to the man who travels with a fool, but whoever follows those who follow the way discovers her family and is filled with joy. Follow then the shining ones, the wise, the awakened, the loving, for they know how to work and forbear. Follow them as the moon follows the path of the stars. Let us hold a moment of silence together.
Before I invite Emily McCabe up to do the stewardship testimonial, I just want to apologize, Jane. I didn't mean to call you out. Okay. Okay. So every now and then we do stewardship testimonials where someone talks about why USNH is so important to them. And so today we are delighted to have Emily McCabe, who is our immediate past president of the board of the congregation. So thank you, Emily, for being here.
Good morning. As she said, my name is Emily McCabe. My pronouns are she and her. This month's theme is change, a word that can evoke anxiety or excitement, or sometimes both, depending on your perspective. This past summer, change was all around me. I rotated off the board after 3 years, and my fiance and I moved from Hamden to Cheshire. No longer are the days when I can leave for service at 10:20 a.m. with time to spare. I'm grateful that one of the ways USNH has changed as a result of the pandemic is that I can now join the service virtually. While our congregation has certainly changed in a myriad of ways because of the pandemic, I also think it's important for us to ask, what do we hold sacred that we want to hold on to and nurture? I can say one aspect of our congregation that I think has been steadfast, despite the pandemic, has been the way we show up for one another. I've seen it and experienced it firsthand. A congregant shares a struggle, and immediately there are questions of, how can I help? What do you need? It's one of the aspects of USNH that I appreciate the most. These small acts of showing up are just one manifestation of stewardship's theme of loved, living our values every day. There are so many ways in which we live out our values, not just with our words, but our actions. That's what drew me to USNH in the first place, and that's what keeps me invested in our community. There are so many ways we can invest. One is, of course, is financially. Having served on the board, I know all too well that one of the changes that is occurring is that our costs are rising, yet our needs remain ever the same. In order for us to be able to fully live out our values, we need to commit financially to supporting all that goes into making our wonderful congregation what it is, from our beautiful building to our amazing staff, our RE program, and our task force, as well as our relationship with the UUA and Connect, just to name a few. As you consider your pledge for next year, I encourage you to ask yourself, in this time of change, what do we need for our congregation, not only to survive, but thrive?
So we've arrived at the part of the service where we practice generosity and talk about our financial support of the ministries of this beloved community. We don't have membership dues or a fee. We are wholly dependent on my and your financial contributions. We are facing some significant budget issues in the near future, and we need your support. For me, the practice is trying to act from a place of abundance, not scarcity, and share my abundance with this community, even when I disagree with what might be happening. So please be as generous as you are able by contributing through our website at usnh.org. You can mail on a contribution to our physical address at 700 Hartford Turnpike, Hamden, Connecticut. And finally, there are offering plates near the exits where you can place a contribution at the end of the service. Thank you.
I've been walking in my sleep, counting trouble instead of counting sheep. Where the years went, I can't say, but I turned around and gone away. And I've been sifting dusty books, faded papers, tells a story, and I used to know it's one that happened so long ago, and it's gone away yesterday, and I find myself on the mountainside, where the rivers change direction across the great divide. yesterday, and I find myself on the mountainside where the rivers change direction across the great divide, and it's gone away yesterday, and I find myself on the mountainside where the rivers change direction across the great divide.
The reading is entitled, "We Are the People." We are the attendants at the wake of a new way, an old way, and each of us through our actions, our thoughts, our work, and relationships is midwifing a new world into existence. This is our destiny, our meaning, our purpose, and when we come to our days with this awareness, when we are fully awake to this tremendous privilege, when we sense the oak in the acorn of our beings, then we will have the energy to move mountains and shift the tides. It is an illusion that we are powerless. It is an illusion that someone else is responsible. It is an illusion that we cannot transcend these dualities and differences that are making a mockery out of democracy. We are the people, and this is our world.
So last Tuesday's midterm elections had some critical wins for those of us who believe in democracy and justice. Here in Connecticut, the measure to allow early voting passed by a huge margin. In California, Michigan, and Vermont, voters enshrined the right to abortion in their states' constitutions, while in Montana and Kentucky, measures that would have restricted abortion access were defeated. Oregon voters deleted a provision in the state constitution that permitted slavery as a punishment for a crime. Oh, no, it's fine, yeah. Amen. So many question marks, though, still float in the air. Most notably, we don't yet know which party will control the House, with all of the ramifications that outcome implies. And I also, frankly, wonder about the 44% of Oregonians who voted to keep the slavery provision. In the meantime, we sit with all kinds of feelings: relief, anxiety, elation, disappointment, hope, dismay, all of them calling for our attention as they rise and fall with an emotional cauldron. However the questions resolve themselves as more results come in, one thing is for sure: there will still be work to do on the other side. As Stacey Abrams has said, voting is medicine, not magic. And because we share values like justice and support of the democratic process, we'll face this together. We'll do the work together. It occurred to me that a heightened time like this called for heightened language. And so today I offer words from 9 poets, nearly all of whom have marginalized identities, that speak to this moment when living in the United States asks so much of us all. In times of change, we don't have certainty, but we do have poetry. So settle in and listen to your country in all its beauty and harmfulness, its complexity and its promise. We begin with American Sonnet for My Past and Future Assassin by Terence Hayes. Our sermon today concerns the dialectic, blessings in transgression and transcendence. We're on the middle floor where the darkness we bury is equal to the lightness we intend. Stand in the valley and go to our knees on the mountain. One rope pulls a body down and into earth, the other pulls up and after stars. To be divided is to be multiplied. Let us ponder how it is that you and I have remained alive. Mississippi and all the seas bound to sky by rain, the root and reach of all the trees. When the wound is deep, the healing is heroic. Suffering and ascendance require the same work. Our sermon today sets the beauty of sin against the purity of dirt. Election Day Spell by Adrienne Marie Brown. We recognize that voting is only meaningful when we act together as movement, as future ancestors. Today we put aside our egos, we set down perfection and our privilege and our but and righteousness. Today we show up for those furthest from power, those carrying the most of our burden, those we've already lost to hate in this pale time. We say no where it is the only humane word, and yes where it is the way forward, another breath. We hold history and future in balance. We vote to take up our responsibility. We vote as both prayer and blessing. We open the way, widen the way, change the way. Ashe. Voting as Fire Extinguisher by Kyle Guante Tron Meyer. When a haunted house catches fire, a moment of indecision. The house was, after all, built on bones and blood and bad intentions. Everyone who enters the house feels that overwhelming dread, the evil that perhaps only fire can purge. It's tempting to just let it burn. And then I remember there are children inside. For When People Ask by Rosemary Watola Trommer. I want a word that means okay and not okay. More than that, a word that means devastated and stunned with joy. I want the word that says, I feel it all at once. The heart is not like a songbird, singing only one note at a time, more like a Tuvan throat singer, able to sing both a drone and simultaneously 2 or 3 harmonics high above it. A sound, the Tuvans say, that gives the impression of a world of wind swirling among rocks. The heart understands swirl, how the churning of opposite feelings weaves through us like an insistent breeze, leads us wordlessly deeper into ourselves, blesses us with paradox, so we might walk more openly into this world so rife with devastation, this world so ripe with joy. Try to Praise the Mutilated World by Adam Zagajewski, translated from the Polish by Claire Kavanaugh. Try to praise the mutilated world. Remember June's long days and wild strawberries, drops of wine, the dew, the nettles that methodically overgrow the abandoned homesteads of exiles. You must praise the mutilated world. You watched the stylish yachts and ships. One of them had a long trip ahead of it, while salty oblivion awaited the others. You've seen the refugees heading nowhere. You've heard the executioners sing joyfully. You should praise the mutilated world. Remember the moments when we were together in a white room and the curtain fluttered. Return in thought to the concert where music flared. You gathered acorns in the park in autumn, and leaves eddied over the earth's scars. Praise the mutilated world and the gray feather a thrush lost, and the gentle light that strays and vanishes and returns. A poem so that the weight of this country does not crush you, by Yosimar Reyes. Some days you may wake up sad. Some days you may wake up frustrated. Some days you may wake up tired. Some days you may wonder if it's worth it. Some days you may question your own growth. Some days you may think on how immense the world is to be caged in this country, to be subjugated to all this abuse. Some days you just want to breathe. And baby, I am here to remind you to sit in those moments, to sit in that whirlpool, but just know that there are people like me picking up the load when you can't. There are people like me pushing so the weight of this country does not crush you. That there are people like you who will fight when I can't. We will take turns pushing against these walls. I got your back and you got mine, and in the scheme of things, does anything else matter? Even if our fight is unfruitful, we will depart with our dignity intact. We will depart knowing that this country is losing a prized possession. This country is losing the gift of our resilience. We will watch them as they tear into each other's skins and thank the heavens we never turned beasts like them. Shoulders by Naomi Shihab Nye. A man crosses the street in rain, stepping gently, looking 2 times north and south because his son is asleep on his shoulder. No car must splash him. No car drive too near his shadow. This man carries the world's most sensitive cargo, but he's not marked. Nowhere does his jacket say fragile, handle with care. His ear fills up with breathing. He hears the hum of a boy's dream deep inside him. We're not going to be able to live in this world if we're not willing to do what he's doing with one another. The road will only be wide. The rain will never stop falling. Election Promises by Mark Bellatini. I hear the polls are going to be open on Tuesday, all day. Good. I certainly intend to go to them. I certainly invite you to go to them and vote too. But I say the polls are not just open on Tuesday. I say they are open every day, every hour, even here, even now. Right now, I'm going to vote for the robin's egg sky, the vanilla clouds, the purple shadows spreading under the ginkgo tree. I'm going to vote for tulips and redbuds. I'm going to vote for love that does not have to run in someone else's circle in order to be love. I'm going to vote the homeless into homes. I'm going to vote the uneducated into classrooms that teach them in the way they learned best, not the way that would be most convenient. I'm going to vote the sick into healing. I'm going to vote the lost into belonging. I'm going to vote right now for the right to dream of a world where the word politics doesn't stop me in my tracks and where the word honor still has a few good meanings left. I'm going to vote right now for the power of free people to actually be free, no matter who they are, no matter who has abandoned them, no matter who hates them. I actually am going to vote for love. I'm going to vote for truthfulness as the norm, not the exception. I'm going to vote for a world that doesn't vote for killing, control, and swagger. I'm going to vote for you. I'm going to vote for me, right now, right here, silently, but for real. America the Beautiful Again, by Richard Blanco. How I sang, "Oh, beautiful," like a psalm at church with my mother, her Cuban accent scaling up every vowel. Oh, beautiful, yet in perfect pitch, delicate and tuned to the radiant beams of stained glass light. How she taught me to fix my eyes on the crucifix as we sang our thanks to our Savior for this country that saved us. Our voices hymns as passionate as the organ, piping towards the very heavens. How I sang, "For spacious skies," closer to those skies while perched on my father's sun-beat shoulders, towering above our first 4th of July parade. How the timber through our bodies mingled, breathing, singing as one with the brass notes of the marching band, playing the only song he ever learned in English. How I dared sing it at assembly with my teenage voice cracking, "For amber waves of grain," that I'd never seen, nor the Purple Mountain's majesty. But I could imagine them in each verse rising from my gut. Every exclamation of praise I belted out until my throat hurt. America, and again, America. How I began to read Nietzsche and doubt God, yet still wished for God to shed his grace on thee and crown thy good with brotherhood. How I still want to sing, despite all the truth of our wars and our gunshots ringing louder than our school bells, our politicians smiling lies at the mic, the deadlock of our divided voices shouting over each other instead of singing together. How I want to sing again, beautiful or not, just to be in harmony, from sea to shining sea, with the only country I know enough to know how to sing for. Amen, Ashe, and blessed be.
My name is Sharon McBlain, and my pronouns are she, her. I invite you to rise in body, in spirit, in all the ways that we do, and join me in singing hymn number 370 in the great gray hymnal, and the title is "All People That on Earth Do Dwell."
We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
Friends, there is still work to be done, to be justice on earth, to build the beloved community, to be for each other what we need for this beautiful and broken world. But even when there is not certainty, there is poetry. Let us go forth with courage and with kindness and find the beauty and the joy in this world and be a blessing to the world as we do so. Amen, and blessed be.